Okay guys, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. This is all the stuff you newbies need to know about Star Trek Online that the game itself doesn't teach you. The first thing we're going to learn about here is the chat bar. Now, the chat bar is just basically the host of many conversations, like in this current zone here. Now, normally all this would be in orange. That's default, but I happen to prefer this colour, so that's the colour it is. Anyhow, as you see, many notifications coming in and out, and it just basically tells you what's going on, who's talking about what and whatnot. Anyway, you need to make sure that of the many channels, they are only those, well, 5 I think they are, 5 to begin with. You would be interested in Zone. Now that broadcasts in the area you are in. So I'm in Earth Space Dock, so all these nice people here will hear what I have to say. Now if you are a noob and you are in need of help, just type in what you need help with, or if you need company with the mission, then ask away, and pretty much very quickly you'll have a volunteer. It's actually really quite good. Okay, one thing you also need to learn is there are channels. Have you noticed? I have a fleet channel and a team channel. Now if you are part of a fleet, you'll have one. Team channel is because I am on a team. This is for voice chat. Now, default N, the letter N for number. If you pressed N, you saw that the colour changed. Now that is to represent the fact that you are live and you can be heard through your microphone. Now, you can change channels depending on who you want to talk to. You want to talk to your fleet or your team. Participant list, you can turn them up, turn them down. If they're too noisy, you can shut them up. That was mute. Okay. Now when somebody is teamed up with you, especially if you're at a lower level, make sure that you are team leader and they are matching your level. And that can be seen here. Right now he is not matching my level. Now that does not matter because we are the same. Now the reason why you want somebody to match your level is when you go to do a mission, the map depends on the highest ranking person in the team. Now if someone is not matching, that means they'll be level 50. That means you'll be there'll be a level 12 and a level 50 map, which means you'll get blown up all of the time with little or no chance of success. So make sure that they are matching your level. Now if you want to leave a team, you would click this button here, or if somebody's annoying you, you just right click and tell them to kick them from team. Now, let's say you've been having a conversation with someone. It will always be in purple writing. Now, if you want to talk to them here, right click, private message, right away. Now, I'm going to tell him to private message me, and you should hear a sound. I don't know when he's going to private message me back. You might say anything. If you want to private message anyone over here that you like the look of their ship or whatever, right click, again, private message, or invite to team or whatever. If you have a team member you wish to follow and you want to go hands free, you click follow and off your ship goes. You don't need to worry about anything else. Okay, the next thing we want to know about is anonymity. You're going to very quickly find out, as a noob and not part of a fleet, you are going to get lots and lots of invites. Now, these are just basically spam. A lot of the fleets that do it aren't really worth the time because they don't care for you as an individual. However, there are a lot of good fleets out there, and some of them do use this method to recruit. However, your chances of getting a good fleet aren't too great through the spam system. Now, to fix all of the spam you might be getting in game, you go into social, friends, sorry, my bad, team settings, privacy, and there are all little privacy options right there, and you can even make yourself appear offline to everybody. Okay, now next thing we're going to learn about is the DOFs. Now as you're leveling up, these are going to be very handy for you. Assignments, current map. There you go. Now I am currently interested in diplomacy. Did you hear that sound there? That was the sound you need to hear for. If you hear that sound, it means somebody has messaged you. There you go. Now he's asked me a question. That's something I'm going to have to answer later. But as you see, I have customized my chat. I will go through that in a moment. Anyway, you plan, begin assignment. Now, I can't do that one because I have not got enough energy credits. You can see that represented by the red. When something is completed, this will flash green. You click on that, go on completed, and it will appear there. The next completed assignment for me is going to be in 18 hours. Now, why should we do this, you say? Well, there are several reasons. One, it will help you level up. Two, there is a second leveling system within the DOF, which gives you certain rewards that you can learn later on. Now, when you are leveling up, there is a bar here. Now, on the top, you will have white that progresses along. That's how much XP you are to the next level. Once it hits here, you're just about to hit the next level, then you go up by 1 gold. Now 1 gold represents 1 level. Get all the way to the end, you reach another grade. So you go from, let's say, lieutenant to lieutenant commander to commander, then captain, every 10 levels. You get a new ship every 10 levels, but we'll go through that later. Now as for chat settings, you have yourself a little bar here, just like this one. And you were to click on chat settings, and there's all the little bits and bobs there. Now quite a lot of this is spam, you don't want to know about it. Here are the colours here you can use to represent what you need. See? There's the orange. Okay, now we've got the missions. Bottom right hand corner of the map, Hail Starfleet, click that. Now overview, that all that tells you is any special events or anything that might catch your eye, but right now, leveling up, it doesn't matter so much. Now if you have a mission already in progress, this is where you find it. I have a lot of missions in progress, but you will only have 1 or 2. You click the mission you are interested in, you read the green writing to figure out where on earth you're supposed to go. So on this one, I have to go to the Tyrilius system and the Etra Adrani sector block. Now how on earth am I going to figure out how to get there? Now you press M on your keyboard, go to galaxy map. Now currently I am in a system, but usually it is lit up where you are in that system. Etra Adrani block is right there. Now what system in the Etra Adrani block is Tyrilius system. So I've got to go there and then go to the Tyrilius system, but let's go a little closer to home. Doomsday device. That is in the riser sector of the Sirius sector. My apologies, that's the alarm. I was not expecting that. But anyway, we're going to push on anyway. Let's go into sector space to illustrate my point. Okay, now we're in sector space. We're going to press M for map, and there we go. It tells you exactly where we are. Now, that mission that we use as an example, Doomsday device. Donia system, which is located in the riser sector of the Sirius sector block. Sirius sector block, riser sector. So you move down to there. Or, if you are in the right block, you can just double click the system on that area there. Now if I'm going too fast for you, just pause and rewind. That's the point of a video. Okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the inventory. Press I to get in the inventory. Now this is all the stuff and the loot and whatnot that you get when you, you know, on your missions and whatnot. Make sure to pick it up, even if it is useless, because it can be melted down to energy credits. How do you do that? You go to the replicator over here, go to recycle, and find something you don't want. So, let us find that. I will get 2,645 energy credits for that. There you go, there's the notification. I do not want to go all the way down to this end of the sector, so I am going to go back to the Sol system. Double click, your ship will take care of the rest. Now another interesting feature of the replicator, which you will find very useful in levels 1 to 20. is that you can replicate your own healing items at the bottom. These are things that won't be available to you only as you advance. Small hypo, small power cell, small shield charge. Now after level 20 they don't really have much of a use, but until you get there it is a very cheap resource, and it is a very good resource for keeping yourself healthy, especially if you decide to go in elite mode, and that is something we're going to talk about now. In progress, at the bottom you have the difficulty settings. Now the differences is in elite you get better drops, the loot is of a better quality. However, if you die you get injured, and we will show you how to fix those injuries later. Now if you want to know what the next mission is, for some reason you've logged out when you were offered the next mission, you just go on episodes, and this way you'll find out your progress. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to go into Earth Space Stock, and we are going to show you how to skill. You see, if you are blowing up a lot, and if you're finding the missions a bit harder, sorry for my slipping words, if you're finding the missions a bit too hard, the likelihood is you have not got a very good skill set. Probably more healing abilities, probably better attack. So what you're going to do, you're going to go into Earth Space Dock. So let us dock there. Okay, we are now in Earth Space Dock. Now if you happen to have a friend or a fleet member, you will see their name usually very obviously, and that just happens to be the person we were chatting with earlier. As you see, he happens to be in my friends list, so he's pointed out rather vividly on the display. Okay, if you get a promotion, say you hit level 10, you will get a new ship and you will be asked to go in and receive your promotion. This is where you go. This is Admiral Quinn. Now, to train your officers in new abilities, you go down here and you talk to the skill trainer. So a very useful way to figure out what you want, press U, stations. This will tell you what you've got currently equipped on your ship and what abilities there are, and give you a rough idea of what they do. Now if you open up the skill trainer, you can use them side by side to work out the best skill set for you. It is a very good idea to spend some time in there and to familiarize yourself with all the different skills. If you ask in zone chat what people would suggest, you'll find many people are very happy to give their opinions. There are a lot of very kind people who will help you. Okay, we spoke about injuries earlier. There is the infirmary. If you get injured, you go to the infirmary. You talk to the doctor there, and you get you, and don't forget your crew needs healed too. I am going to leave this team. That we only teamed up as an example. Treat officers, treat injuries. Now, I highly doubt that any of my officers actually do have injuries, because I tend to look after them. Anyhow, your ship can receive injuries too. You will see these usually, well, for ground for example, you will see them here. If there were injuries, those are buffs that you see, but injuries are also seen. We will go back into sector space very shortly to explain something else. Anyhow, repair ship, customize your ship, and when you get a new ship, starship and shuttle requisitions. If you want to choose a ship that you already have, select your ship. However, that is a bit redundant because you can now do that in sector space. Okay, time for the next piece of information. Now, a lot of people like to improve the look of their characters. Now, you are not stuck with the look that you chose at the beginning. there is a game tailor, and here he is. I have personally been guilty of spending about half an hour in here customizing both myself and my crew. I did try to make the crew from Final Fantasy VII, Cloud and whatnot, but with all the crazy hairdos, did not work. Now, this is a good place to remember to buy some cheap weapons and whatnot. However, Deep Space Nine and Rosanna are a better place, and I believe they are cheaper. This is a lot cheaper than going on the exchange, because a lot of the very sly people in this game will buy things from such shops, sell them in exchange for inflated prices for naive people who don't look around for these shops. So it was always a good idea to look around. However, the exchange is good for rare items, and it is also for creating a set. For example, if you want a ship that specializes in disruptor weapons, it's going to be highly unlikely that a full disruptor set is going to fall right on your lap, and that is where the exchange comes in. You can access the bank. Now, you have a personal bank. This is where your inventory gets too full, and you don't necessarily want the stuff on you all of the time. An account bank, which is not something you will have if you are free to play, is to share things between characters, including energy credits, it would seem. Another thing, if you have a generous fleet, you will have a fleet bank. Now, in that fleet bank will be various items that you can take out and use. So if you see something you like, feel free to take it out, providing on your permissions. You will quickly know if you can't take it out, because if you click on it, it won't come out. It would say you don't have sufficient permissions. Okay, back into sector space. We are going to talk a little bit about keybinds. We're going to talk about the various marks, and we shall see. Okay, now we're in sector space. We're going to learn a little bit about keybinds. Go into options. Keybinds. Now, by default, it isn't usually this big. It's usually much smaller. I tend to have it this big because not all of these tabs will be seen. Right, I am currently in space. One of my things that I do is I look under targeting and interaction for fire all weapons. There you go. I will change that to spacebar. The reason for this is it is normally Alt and space for fire all weapons. Now that will take your finger away from the directional controls, and it's a lot easier just to bash the spacebar as you're moving around, especially if you're a cruiser, which is very advisable in your early ages because a lot more durable. I think your first ship is a cruiser anyway. It's a light cruiser. You have also an option called under basic, where if you notice some of my things are overlapping a bit, so I will decrease their size. There we go. It is a good idea to have a good look around in this. Now in voice chat you have an option for open microphone. Make sure that is unchecked, otherwise everybody will be able to hear you. You can also disable voice chat, and as you see, that channel has just gone away. This is if you want a bit of privacy and you don't want people talking at you all of the time, which some people are talkative on some of the team events. Now for the various different types of currencies and marks. Go inventory and assets. This is a log of all of the various different types of currency that you have. Energy credits is the main form of currency. That is what you use to buy your equipment, usually from the exchange and from commodity shops. These reputation marks are something you don't need to worry about until you hit level 50. Reputation. Now, this is the second leveling up system. You use this to gain various new abilities to give you an edge in battle and to get the best equipment in the game. it is commonly thought of that the Omega sets and the assimilated sets are the end game and best. However, that is totally dependent on you and your style. Dilithium is a very valuable commodity. It can get you some of the best gear in the game. In fact, nearly all of the good gear in the game require dilithium. Not only that, you can exchange it for Zen, which equates to real world money. Not that you can actually turn it into such. I'm just randomly pressing buttons. You go to the STO and you can spend that on whatever you like. Another thing you might want to know about is equipping new things. Say for example, after the first level you will get a new phaser and you'll get a few other bits and bobs. The easiest way to do that is in sector space. You just click on the empty spot and choose what you want to put in there. That is the easiest way to do it. Now when you find yourself in a position where you have multiple ships, switch starship. I will go to my temporal destroyer. And it is easy as that. I believe I have covered everything. The only other thing I can think of is the power tray. A lot of people don't realise that these powers are, well, you're able to customise them. You're not stuck on these presets. You do what I do, click up here, click on free, and now you have access to slider bars. Now these slider bars can be locked in place. If you notice, the other powers adjust accordingly. But let's say you want all your power on weapons and you want all your power on shields. You'll find it begins to auto compensate and doesn't make that possible. So you press the padlock, lock the shields in place, and then you can pull that up as far as you like. Unfortunately, you do have limited power resources, and this isn't necessarily a setup you'll want to keep, because some of your damage avoidance is dependent on speed, not just the strength of your shields. Another thing you may want to learn about is customizing this tray here. If you click this, you will have a list of all of your abilities. You can just drag them to places you want. Now, unfortunately, it is something they've yet to fix in the game. I had a loadout fitted here. I had things in places where I wanted them to be. Yet, as you see, it's been scrambled and some of my officers are even missing. Unfortunately, this is unavoidable. The best thing you can do to try and fix that is to save a loadout. But unfortunately, as you see, that doesn't always work, which again is very frustrating. Now we're going to go back to DOFs. Every DOF has a special power, so to speak. For example, he will give my recharge time on torpedo abilities reduced by 5 seconds. I can stick him on active duty. That will give me that power. I believe I have covered just about everything a noob needs to know. There's only one other thing I can think of, is transwarp and scan. You do learn about this in the game, but it's a lot easier just to press V on your keyboard, V for Vixen. Another thing, if you're on team, since we've already got this guy selected, you can share certain abilities to help heal your teammates. I hope this was useful to you, and I hope this information will be used well. Signing out.